So Motorola is relentlessly blitzing us with new Motorola One handsets in 2019. We've already had the Vision and the Action, and now we've got the Motorola One Zoom just a month later. This is the first Motorola phone to rock a quad camera arrangement around the back and some very nice premium specs for a pretty reasonable price actually. I've been hands-on with the Motorola One Zoom, and here's my full hands-on review, and for more on the latest greatest mobile tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. So first up, I really like the look of the Motorola One Zoom. This is probably the best looking Moto phone I've ever fondled. You've got an almost brushed metal style finish, but it's actually constructed of glass. You can pick it up in a couple of different finishes, electric grey or cosmic purple. I would 100% say go for that cosmic purple version, although it is an Amazon exclusive. And Motorola seems likely to expand this colour selection soon as well, so stay tuned. That glass is actually Gorilla Glass 3 on top, so it seems nice and hardy, no scratches on these hands-on review models so far. It's also P2I splash resistant. What I really like is that fresh new illuminated Motorola logo around the back, which actually lights up for any incoming notifications, calls, things like that to attract your attention. Flipping on around to the front and you get a 6.4-inch Full HD Plus OLED screen here. It's very nice, it's bright, it's punchy, it's colourful. It's definitely one of the best displays I've seen on a Motorola handset. As for the audio, it is unfortunately just a mono speaker. You do not get a stereo speaker arrangement, but there is a headphone jack, so hooray for that. And of course you've got full Bluetooth 5 support if you want to go wireless. As usual with Motorola handsets, you get a nice stock version of Android Pie on there, so it's a nice clean experience, no clutter or crapware. One of the only new additions is of course the Moto app, which adds the Moto experiences as usual. So you get all that lovely gesture support. You've got a one-handed mode, which is definitely helpful considering this is a 6.4-inch beast, and the usual eye detection, so you can actually tell whether you're staring at the screen or not. And surprisingly, the Motorola One Zoom isn't actually an Android One handset. It does have stock Android, of course, but it is not one of the Android One lineup. Of course, I wouldn't worry about the OS updates or security updates, as Motorola is usually on the ball with that shenanigans. Powering the Motorola One Zoom is a Snapdragon 675 chipset backed by 4 gigs of RAM. Certainly the performance seems absolutely fine in my hands-on session. You can split screen multitask with 2 apps at once, and I didn't see any stutters or any little irritating pauses. You get a 4000 mAh battery stuffed inside as well, with 15-watt turbo power support, so hopefully it'll keep you going all day long and then not take too long to charge back up either. There's a pretty standard 128GB of storage on board, and you do get micro SD memory card support as well, so you can boost that if you need to. As for the security, well, the Motorola One Zoom actually has an in-display fingerprint sensor as well, a first for the Moto One range, and apparently according to Motorola, it can take additional pictures of your finger every time you use it, just to further improve the overall experience. But now of course let's talk about the main event, that quad camera system around back. You get a 48 megapixel main snapper with optical image stabilization built in. It's an f1.7 aperture lens, and you get that quad pixel tech as well, so basically you can take either a 48 megapixel image or take a 12 megapixel image with 4 pixels merged into one just to brighten things up a bit. You can also, when you're actually in the camera app, change between that main lens and the 8 megapixel telephoto lens, which again boasts optical image stabilization and offers a 3 times optical zoom. You can also zoom in even further to a 10 times hybrid zoom. Very impressive stuff, the kind of stuff you see on really premium Huawei handsets. Or alternatively, there is a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle lens with a 117 degree view of the world, so you get a nice widespread view. And last up, that fourth and final lens is a 5 megapixel depth sensor for your portrait snaps. Besides the ability to swap between the different lenses, you basically get the same camera app setup as the other Motorola One handsets. So for instance, you've got full manual controls, which you can dive into at any time if you want to have a bit of a play around with those. And this allows you to shoot in the likes of the RAW format as well for editing on the fly. You've also got the new night vision mode as well, which captures 8 different images at different brightness levels, then combines them for a nice, more illuminated image. Of course, you've got a portrait mode to take full use of that 5 megapixel depth sensor, and as with the Motorola One Vision and the Motorola One Action, you can cycle between all kinds of different effects, change the level of blur and all sorts, and so far certainly seems to do the job nicely. The edge detection is really good, and that blur bokeh style effect is lovely. And of course you've got all of the other camera features that Motorola usually throws on, such as the likes of the spot color, which is quite funky. And you've got all of those AI features once again on board as well, including the AI shot optimization, which actually suggests swapping to an alternative mode whenever appropriate. On top of all that, you can shoot up to 4K resolution video with that rear facing camera, and you can actually choose the 3 different lenses to shoot video. Unfortunately, when you're actually shooting the video, you can't swap between the lenses, then you have to choose one and then stick with it. And around front, you get a 25 megapixel selfie cam, again using that quad pixel tech. So the Motorola One Zoom will be coming to the UK and the rest of the world from the end of September. It will start at €429 or £379, so a pretty good price point considering that smart camera tech and the reasonably premium specs and features. But are you tempted by the Motorola One Zoom? Definitely let us know in the comments below, and please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Cheers everyone, love you!